think we're rolling. It has been a while. Just grabbing all the stuff. Hold on a second here. If I sound tired, it's because I am. Having a bit of a sugar crash, I think. Sorry, I got captivated by a Kevin Bacon, does Kevin Bacon know his lines on YouTube? And I was like, oh, I might want to watch them later. Alright, let me pull up the stream, and I guess I'll add this to my watch later list. I'm not casting. Correct stream, yes. Hey, Kevin Bacon. There I am. Just make sure I have the stream open. I need to get like a stand for this thing or to print one. Anyway. I mean, this does technically have a stand on the back of it. But I never really trust that little stand. But yeah, I'm a bit on the tired side. My voice actually sounds a bit rough right now. So, I'm breaking out a Pepsi. Need a little bit of caffeine to keep me going for the next hour or so. Oh, so what are we doing today? Well, what I've been up to is working on the characters for the game and book and comic book. So the official title of, so if you know that I write, actually I'll pull that up. Let's pull up Spamazon. There we go. Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and share this. Coming soon, cheats. We'll do display capture. Is that... I should see a telescopic display. No? There we go. Wow, okay. So, if you know that I write, and I wrote Guardians Path of Ascension, and I've been saying for a while that I was going to do a relaunch once the comic book was getting closer to release, which it is. So, the comic is, if you jump to my Kickstarter page, this is still a work in progress, but it is officially a Wielders of Aether, which will be the comic. There's me for the team. Also, Patrick will be up here. He hasn't sent me a picture of him yet, so I'll be there. But this is the comic so far. Sorry. It's Wielders of Aether, and this will be updated on the book as well. So I'll do a relaunch cover and whatever now, which is what I've been working on. So that's going to go... Oh, hi Kevin Bacon. I'll turn him off. So this is going to go pretty soon. You can see the comic is actually done. We're just working on the cover. So Patrick is working on the cover. This is the... We had one of two covers. If I jump into the covers, there's cover fixes. There we go. So this is, we actually had more than this, but this is what we ended up settling on. So here's A and B. Actually, maybe I'll pull up cover color tests. So this is what was sent out earlier. You can see each of them and kind of what they look like. So it was I kind of like this blue on blue, but this is kind of hard to see. This stands out a bit more. So it was kind of a toss-up between which one. Should the characters be more visible in the background? Should they be faded? Should it be a partial fade? Whatever you want. So I settled on this with this text, and then I sent him a rough of this one. And I said, hey, can you add in the flower creature thing? And we had a couple of them. We had one like this and one where the flower was wrapping up Selden and kind of grabbing him. And we did some tests with it and threw some stuff on Twitter and got some feedback. So this is the one that kind of came back. And then the other one was... let's cover... That's me. Where is... there's the hero page. That's what we just saw. There's cover 2. There's cover 2. Okay, so it was between those two. So this one and that one. A or B. And so far, I got a lot of votes for A. This is who we're working on today. So I got a lot of votes for this one. I do like this, just because it's more homogeneous. Everything kind of fits visually. But we're getting Selden and Simon kind of fighting down here in the corner, which is something that happens in the comic book. So we're going to see that a lot. And I didn't want to have too many elements on the cover that were repeated directly in the comic. So I keep going back to her. The creature does appear in the comic, but I wanted sort of a larger-than-life kind of representation of what's kind of going to go in there. Sort of like a movie cover, you want to hint at things that are in it, but you don't want to show an exact replica of something that is happening, because then it'll be boring. So but this works because we got red, and then the red lettering will match between her hair, lips, and this thing, and some other things. So this is like one of the planets they're going to visit, one of the creatures they're going to encounter, and whatever not. And then one other thing is on here you can see that we're missing the L between the for wielders. There I am again. So yeah, so missing the L here. So what I did is I went ahead and fixed that. So I went ahead and got that L in there. But this isn't done. Patrick is going to color it up and get it nice and pretty, and that'll be the cover. And then for the Kickstarter, we'll have 2 or 3 covers that can go with the comic, so you can kind of pick cover A, B, or C, or you can get all 3 of them. I don't know what cover B is going to be yet. It's not going to be the same. Where is that? Yeah, it's not going to be this one versus that one, just because they're so similar. That's... I don't want people like, oh, well, the only thing different is one is a flower, one doesn't. But I want to have 3 unique covers. One is going to be a what do they call that? A stenciled cover, where it's just the black and white outline, and then 2 colored ones. So we have alternate covers. Other things that are going to the Kickstarter for the campaign. Oh, you can kind of see some hints of what's in here. Here's a creature. Some battle scenes. It was really cool. some more stuff, some little hints. So the comic itself is kind of like, if you've read the book, it's, you know, Dragon Ball Z. There's Star Wars. You know, alien invasions and that sort of thing. So that's kind of all in the mix, but it's a huge thing. A lot of it takes place. Some of it takes place on Earth. Some of it takes place on different worlds. The universe, or the world they're in, is kind of like Harry Potter in a way, because their like magic system exists, but nobody really knows about magic except for the people who use it. They kind of keep it hush hush, you know. And there are two different groups that use magic. There's sorcerers who cast spells, and there's wielders who kind of summon it from inside themselves. So, and there's kind of like a little rivalry that goes on between them, because the wielders think the sorcerers are kind of weak, because of their reliance on spells and they don't practice. And the sorcerers tend to think that the wielders are stuck up and whatever not. So anyway, but yeah, so some of the things are going to go with the campaign. I'm going to get stand-ups of the characters here. Those will go off with like little badges, but things that we're offering for like rewards. I've got the full script. So I wrote a TP pilot script that I converted into the comic script. So that full 100, or the full 70-page comic script will be available to be read. You know, you can get a copy of that. And of course, we'll show you the full one and what was cut down to, and then all of our production notes, the production art and that sort of stuff, like the concept art. A lot of that will be available, and then we'll do some. I don't know if we're gonna do keychains or stickers, little wall hang things that. Little knickknacks like that, bookmarks. I want to do a custom box for the comic. So if you get a couple comics, you can have the custom box to go with it. I don't know if I'll be able to, in this campaign, do action figures, just because it's a lot of money to get action figures made. But it is something that I want to do. So I can either invest in a nice 3D printer and model the characters and print them out as action figures using acrylic. But then I have to hand paint them, which, I can do digital art, I can do 3D art, but I don't trust my ability to paint them, so I'd have to hire somebody or outsource it or wing it and make a mess. So I don't know how that's going to go, but this is in the works. We're pretty excited about it. This has been a year and a half putting this together. So, hopefully you're as excited as I am. It probably doesn't sound like that I'm all that enthused, but I am. I'm just tired. But what I'm doing today is working on... So this is Jasra / Teresa / pretty much all the female characters are from this body, and the head is going to be reworked for the different facial features for each female character. So this is really Jasra, but I'm technically modeling this for Teresa. So if we take a look at drop this stuff off. Let me hop onto here. Huh. I see Star Quest, but I don't see the other one. Looks like we have to fetch it. That might be a minute. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Of course, it's under TGC, which was the Guardian Chronicles, but the backstory behind that is there's like a million different stories with Guardians in it. There's Guardians of the Galaxy. There's another person in the writing community that has Guardians for their book, and then there's another writer who wrote 3 books for the Guardian Chronicles of their own series, and it's just a lot of competition. So I held on to the title for about five years to have no competition for this title release. So this is my first time making a big public thing about it within like the past couple weeks. This is finally coming out, so but yeah, I have to start advertising it now so that when we launch the thing, there'll be awareness of it. So officially it is Wielders of Aether for that. So this is the scene being set up. We've got some buildings. You saw me make these before, but there's the cathedral and there's the creature, one of the things in the background. But the cover for the book is going to be about here. And then Teresa is going to be at the base of the cathedral with, she's going to have a staff and projecting a force field. And then there'll be some of the creatures, some of the aliens will be attacking. So that'll be kind of neat. But this is a cathedral. I don't remember if you guys were there when I brought this in and assembled it, but I've been working on this in Maya for a little while. I only modeled the front face. I did not do the back. This is all hollow. But you'll never see that. You only really see it from here. I still have to do some street stuff, some sidewalk, street lamps, and put some cityscape in the background, and figure out where the framing is going to be for where Teresa's going to be. I don't need her to be very detailed, just because she's going to be in some bit of the distance. You know, you're not going to get a close-up of Teresa. I don't have to have her too close. But yeah, I think framing it right about here-ish would be good. And then her kind of like holding up the staff and having the energy thing coming out, and you know, the aliens being kind of shucked off. But yeah, so there's that thing. I'm going to close this just because you can hear my computer is trying to take off for the next city. But yeah, so this is her at the moment. I'm just doing the rig for the facial features. Again, we're not going to see that very close up, but I want to be able to add any articulation that I need while I'm in the engine, because I have it in my head, but I won't know until I actually have the camera on her and how I can set up the zoom and the focus and all that stuff. I won't know how much of her I can see. So I want to have enough articulation so I can have, because she's supposed to be like, you know, projecting energy and all that stuff. So I've been working on her. I got her modeled. Her hair. This will be good enough. You know. The outfit that she'll be wearing is this one. I might change the. Let me turn the root off. Right now it's black and yellow, but I might change this to like a navy bluish. This just so you can see more of the texture work and detail in the robes. Right now she's kind of got like a goofy little face going on though. She's like, ah! It's weird that this one's pulled weird. Anyway, so yeah, this is just me rigging the thing and getting it going. Ugh. And then body-wise, like, the face has some features on it, but you can see the neck. I didn't do any of the muscle on the neck. I didn't do any of here. I mean, she's not going to have an Adam's apple anyway, but women tend to have a kind of like a flatter thing here. But I didn't even do that. You just want to be close enough to see it. I did some collarbone, you know, but there's no muscle in the arm. It's just a noodle. And then the legs are noodles. And then with the dress, because you're not really going to see any of the body, so with the dress on, you know, this is about what you're going to see, you know. But let's get this going. I'll turn the bones back on. It's going to be a bit tough to look at just because you're seeing layers of the bones on top of the mesh, on top of this dark background. But what I'm doing right now is actually I can turn that part off. I just need these ones. I'm doing the upper lip. So upper lip. So here's the center. Not so much of a tutorial, just more just hanging out, chilling while I work. I'll frame up on. Oh, come on, you. That's annoying. So if you ever get this slidingness on the on the camera, select the joint and then frame it with F. So now I'll pivot around that. Maya's camera can be goofy sometimes. So what I'm doing is, if you ever rig the mouth, pretty much any, circular structure, I'm gonna weight the point that is closest to that joint at 100%, and then I'm gonna taper it off. So this joint is centered on these, so I'm going to just 100% this to that joint. Probably take that one. And then I'll get this inside. So those ones are going to be 100, and then this next line down, I'll do a bit of fall off. So I'll do add. I'll just drop it down to 10%. And every time I click, I'm adding about 10% This maxes out at 1, so 1 is 100%. So 7 clicks is 70%, you know. You can see at some point these kind of start caving in on each other, so I can't go too much. You're not going to see inside the mouth, but you want it to be more natural. Actually, that's going to be more of the roof of the mouth there. So I think we're good on that one. I'm going to move down to the next joint. I'm only going to do the left side of the character, and then I'll mirror it. But same deal. I'm just going to 100%, so I'll set replace and do 1. And then we'll get these. So I did these 3. So that's this line, 100%, that line, so I need this line. And I don't know if you're watching what I'm doing, I'm basically checking the number of lines that I have so I can be consistent across the joints. And that's another reason why doing skin weights is a lot easier at a lower poly, because you don't have as many faces or vertices to have to bind. So, so I got those 3. I'll go to add, and we'll do 10%. And I'm just kind of matching roughly what it looks like across each one. And I'll get the next one on my list. The ones in the corner are tricky just because there's not a single specific group to do this to. I have to kind of spread the love across multiple. And then there's going to be sharing between the top and the bottom one. And it's always harder when you have twists. These kind of come in and twist around. Not the best to work with. But I will replace to 100%, and I'll do, looks like this one. No. Where would you be sitting? You would be sitting up there. Well, let's take a peek. I don't know the position this needs to go into. It was up here, roughly. But if I do that... I'll say these right here. So let's put him back. I'll try these guys. Oops. Need a smaller brush. Crap. And when you're doing this, you want to paint the vertices, not the faces. Alright, what we got up in here? I think I'm safe to get these blended toward this. So I'm going to go to add. Let's get and you can see if you follow the line here where this line breaks, it's this one that connects to here, so that lets me know I have to go this far up. Same deal on the inside. I have to go to this line. Okay, now since I need to share, that was annoying. Since I need to share some of what's in the corner of the mouth here, I'm just going to start adding to it. So I'll get this one. I think I can get this as well. See that arc? I don't want to go too sharp, but I want to be able to have some control there. So like if I pull, on the lip, how much of it, you probably can't see, but how much of the surrounding material goes with it, I'm trying to emulate that. So for here, I can probably bring this up more. And I'm using those lines to kind of see the surrounding material. I need to go to here. So right now it's very sharp, right? So I'm trying to take out that sharpness by getting the neighboring edges. So instead of being sharp, it'll kind of bow out and flatten. You can kind of see that here. Nope, that's too far. Right now, I'm distorting this, so I shouldn't go too much farther on that one. Same thing on this side. Oh, I need to do back side. Hold on. Gotta work the back end of this. You might be like, well, how do you know? Player 3 came on and said hello and then goodbye. I don't know how long they were in, but oh well. Happy to engage if I catch you. Sometimes I don't see you. But you might be wondering, how do I know how much influence to give? And the answer is I don't. It's all guesswork. So like here, I can probably relax quite a bit of this. But it's a lot easier to assign it to another joint than it is to try to relax it, just because Maya will take its guess at where the influence needs to go, and you don't always want it to guess. In general, you don't want it to guess for you. It usually guesses wrong. So in here, for this, I'm going to give this quite a bit of influence on these. This will have almost 100% influence. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get at the moment. I'm going to move on to the next joint. Go back to this one. Same deal. I'm going to give this one a bunch of influence in here. And you can see how that's kind of playing out. I'm going to get this one as well. It'll just speed up my work. I can kind of see where it's going to go anyway. You can see as I'm adding influence, this is leveling off. And I want this to be nice and flat in here, so I may have to give some influence back. And go this way. In between these two, this one has pull over here, but this one does not have any pull over here. So I'm going to come back over and I'm going to give some influence here. That way these two joints share. This one should have more pull, just because it's closer. So I'm going to go back to this one. I don't know about that. I may have to do, I'm going to do a pull test later so we can see how they react to each other. That flicker is just me saving it. Go back to the center one, and I'll go and get these. Welcome to the stream, by the way, if you're popping in and I don't see you for some reason. Hello, how are you? Let's get this. This should be pretty easy on this one because it's an even amount between this one and that one. Anybody out there watch the 1980 TV show V? It's a little mini series. I picked it up earlier. I'm going on a sort of a binge of trying to find shows that I saw when I was like 3 or 4, and I'm like, is this that show? I think it might be. But I won't know for sure. But as I was watching it, I was like, wow, this is very much like Independence Day. It's almost as if Rowan Emmerich almost exactly copied the premise, at least with the alien ships arriving. Yeah. Of course, that's War of the Worlds, isn't it? Like originally? Where all the ships go to, you know, different parts of the country. Okay. So I think that's good. I'm going to give this one influence. So it has 1, 2, and then we need to get shared influence here. Now, I haven't watched the new show, V. I don't know if the new V is based on the old V. I assume so. I think I'm good there. I'll come back. I'll give influence here. Back over here. almost an even pull. You can see I need to do some refinement work back in here, though. This is hard to look at. There is an option if you're ever doing this to use color ramp. I personally don't like color ramp, but it does make it less harsh on the eyes. My reason for the color ramp, or not liking color ramp, is painting things down to 0 influence is harder. Just visually, it doesn't. Let's see. You can see how this is like a dark blue. That is basically no influence, but black is also no influence, and it's just very hard to really ensure that. Whereas if I do black and white, it's a very clear where the influence is. I don't know. To each their own. Okay. Nice thing about color ramp is it does make it, on the control side, it's a lot easier to tell where heavy influence is. It's just not as nice with low influence. Now let's swap between joints. So like right here where I have to share between joints, you can see that this being almost white, red to white, that joint has all the influence over this. This joint has no influence here. A little bit influence here. So that's like one of the nice things about color ramp is you can have there's a clear divide about what joint is influencing what area. If you want to know the percentages, you can do like a visual. So as I'm adding this is moving just a little bit, but that means that this joint has just a little bit of influence. A little bit more, a little bit more. Whoops, I don't want that one out there. That's too much. So this joint, a little bit influence out here, a lot more influence over these areas. Okay, so now I'm at a point where I can do kind of a pull test to see what is happening. So if I grab this joint here and I do a pull, you can see I have flex, but as this joint comes up here, I should have this flexing. It should not be so sharp. So I'm going to pull this joint up. I can also go this way for the other end of it, but I'll do this just so I can see that corner. And now I'll grab that joint, and I know I need to provide influence over here. And you want to have a nice even pull between those, right? If I had a string, it'd be a lot easier, but as you pull it, as I pull this should be a clean bend you know, kind of arc that way. So. And the same kind of goes the other way. Yeah, let's see about that. Over here, this should not be super rigid. I should have a little bit of control over here. Oh, those shouldn't have any. That should be a 0. I'm a little bit concerned about painting that away, though, because I have no idea where it's going to go. If I paint this to 0, there's a good chance it'll go to some other random joint, so I'm just going to leave that one. We won't see it anyway. And then up here, should have influence. A little bit of influence. And then we just pull again. That's a much nicer pull. Oh crap. I hit the wrong button. What about this one? As I pull this, this is smooth here, a little rigid in some areas under here, but very rigid over here. So as I pull, this needs to have more control from here. So I'm going to go back in, get that joint. And I'll just add influence. So that's not bad here, but this is a bit sharp here. So I'll come back. I'm not so much matching the color as I am matching the bend. Well, that's not cool. that should not be way down here. This is showing influence from this joint way down here. Maybe I accidentally painted, but that should not be here. So what I will do is hit replace, set it to 0. This is almost always bad, but I'm hoping that Maya makes a good guess. You can see this got screwed somehow. Actually, I'll hold off on that. Okay. I think that should be a better curve in here. I need to give some influence in there. I need to smooth this one out. So let's go to you. Oh, I painted to 0. Whoopsies. Set the point. And there we go. Okay, so painting here, it's pulling too far in. That means I need to give it to somebody else. So I'll go back. Let's get this one, and I will paint this way. I gotta fix this down here. Let's grab this, turn that back on. You can see it's very hard to see what you're doing with all that. Let's pull this up. Hide this, that. Alright, so that is lower lip. Lower lip 2. And that one should not have influence here, so I will replace to 0. But I don't know where that went, right? So that disappeared to somebody. So where's upper 2? Upper 2 is here, but upper 2 should not have that. So I'm going to paint that off to 0. Now I painted that to 0. I don't know where it went. Always a bad thing, not knowing where things go. And you can see this got folded over. That means somebody has it who shouldn't have it. I'm going to click off. So it looks like it went to upper 1, which it should not have gone to upper 1. painted that off. Where did it go? Did not go to upper 2. Upper 1 still has influence. You can see that that's back. It's like WTFB. But I think that's not true. I think that's a lie. Here is right. The right lip has all this for some reason. Why? I have no idea. It should have nothing over here. I can paint right lip to 0, but again, we would have a guess of where those could go. In general, it's just a lot cleaner to add to a specific joint than it is to remove from. Alright, so I think I'm going to put everything back. I'll do a mirror. I'll test where things are, and then I'll move on to the next part of the body. So, because I don't have a rig on this, and I've moved my joints, you can see that they have transform data, but all the joints have transform data. We can't zero that out. That causes problems, which is why we use a rig, so that we can zero something out to get back to the home position easier. I'm being lazy. I'm not making a rig. So what do you do? Well, you can take the mesh here and then make sure you're in rigging and go to skin, go down to bind pose, and that'll force everything back into the default recorded pose at the time that you bound the joints. Kind of a handy trick there. You can see those doing their thing. Okay. And I'm going to mirror, but I'm only going to mirror the mouth. So what I'm going to do is get vertex selection. Let's turn that tool off. I'll get paint. And let me hide the skeleton here. It'll just be easier to see what I'm doing. Am I not able to hide things? What's going on with that? That was weird. Oh, because I was in vertex mode. Anyway, so I'm going to get all of this. Let's get mirror. I don't think I have anything below that line. Go inside the mouth here. I don't really need this mouth box, but I'm going to get it anyway. Alright, I'm going to check the outside of the mouth box. Crap. Alright. Mouth box. Influenced. Good. I think all the lips are good. If I miss a lip, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so I've got that. Gonna go up to skin. Mirror skin weights. Let's do YZ. Actually, I'll just run this as a reset. YZ, and then all the defaults should be fine. I'll just say mirror. Okay, and now I should be able to move this joint and move this joint. Good enough. I should be able to get enough expression out of her with that. Turn this on. Okay. That is weird. Right there. But is it weird on this side? If it's equally weird, then that means I just need to clean this one up more and then I can remirror. That looks good. Okay, so what's going on here? There's a bit of a pinch. So like this here, that's the roof of the mouth, and I chose not to add influence there just because the roof of the mouth doesn't flex. But this is one of those cases where I might need to, because obviously we're not going to have a block of material there when you lift your lips up, right? You'd have a gum, but if I put the teeth in, teeth occupy about this much space, so I may not need to actually. You can see that the gums are exposed, but we don't see the roof of the mouth being flexed there, so we're probably okay. Let me try opening the mouth. Okay. So yeah, so up here on the roof, there is some, some pass-through. Trying to avoid the other word because people like to giggle. But these are intersecting. So probably won't be too bad though. From that distance, I don't think you're gonna see that far back. I do need to make these teeth less rigid though. That's awful. But back here, this can be softened, and then this influence can be shared. So let's do that. Save current position, turn this off, that on, grab this. Ugh, that's awful. I don't know what I'm looking at. Why does this have so much influence? It should not have that influence. That's terrible. Lower lip 1 is here. There's lower lip 2. Lower lip 1. So this one has... That's what I mean, like it shouldn't have any You know, is this technically 0 or is it some? Like that shouldn't be a thing. Alright, so let me grab, let's do, no, because I need both lower and upper, so I'll keep them both on. Let me do lower lip 2 right in here. You can see where the polling is. That being pulled down, folding the lip, that shouldn't happen. I wonder why. That's just so jagged. Huh. Why so jagged? Upper lip looks okay, but there is a bit of jaggedness right here. So I think this is happening because I don't have enough influence behind it. So like if I look under here, kind of hard to see, but it looks like the influence cuts off right about there, and then we're getting fold over. So what I think needs to happen is I have to very carefully add influences for the next few lines down. I'll come back to that in just a second though. Let me take a look in here. Can I smooth? Yes. It's allowing. Sometimes smooth is not the best tool. You can see out here I need to have some so smoothing is kind of like painting to 0. Maya will do its best guess to distribute it across certain joints. I don't exactly know how the algorithm works to figure that out. I think it does by nearest. Maybe I can have it set by hierarchy, but I think it does it by nearest. Let's see what this one does. This definitely needs to come down. Go out. Okay, let's go to the top one here. So that's lower lip 2. I need upper lip 2. And I'm using smoothing. Smoothing might be a bad thing when I'm done. We'll see. Looks like I need to go down one more line. Too much. I'll let it taper off there. Oops. That's just so harsh there. It's just so hard to see. Ugh. Man, that's bad. Let's grab lower lip 2. Very jagged over here. But if I share or smooth, I get more jagged. So let's try to go back to that. Sometimes smoothing is bad. My brush is a bit big, so I'm going to lower it because I'm hitting multiple parts here. Interesting. So when I smoothed that, that went way up there, but I have influence there. That's really bizarre. It's trying to say that this is the natural joint. And then down here you can see this is where the lip gets fold over. So I need to assign to that joint. Man, that's awful. I need to assign to that joint. under here. I see a lot of pull this way. It's too much. Over here, though, this is messy. That's way too rigid. But if I soften that, who will it go to? Let's go back into so I'm on lower lip 2. Let's go to lower lip 1. See where the influence is. Going that way does pull back. That's way too much on there. Because I need to share. Let's go down. If I go here, going down to there. Whoops, too much. Huh. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, so each joint has a certain amount of influence, and then I'm just trying to balance out. So one joint next to the other, they're going to control different parts of the lip, but you want to have a smooth transition between each one. So that's what I'm doing here. Let me turn this back on, although it's really hard to see what's going on with all the joints in the way. But so here's this one. So as I move that, you can see the influence. Or this one. Let's pull this one up. I'll go back. I'll turn this off so I can see what I'm doing, and I'll turn that on. How's your night going? I need to be on. Where is C? Lower lip. There we go. And then I was doing lower lip 1 down to here. So let's do C down here. I'm still seeing this collapsed part of the lip here. That's going to be lower lip 2. I think Maya's gaslighting me, because I don't remember it being that rigid when I was there a minute ago. I could try smoothing it, but I don't know where that one's going to. It is a little bit nicer. But now I have a collapse right here. Who is influencing you? Yeah, so the more joints you have, the more precise you can manipulate that area. But right now, since this is a lower poly model, I can actually go too high. I could have too many things in there, and then it's kind of a pain. So it's a battle of precision. There can be too much and too little. Like I could add. I only did I think 5 lip joints on the bottom. I probably could have gotten away with 1 extra on the corner, but I pretty much put 1 joint. If I bring the lower back up, I have 1 joint per major line. So 1 joint here, and then I skipped 1, and then 1 joint there, and then a skip, and then 1 joint there. So if I want to be more precise, I can add a joint here, and then I'll have a guarantee. What you would do is you would just give 100% influence to the joint that occupies that line for these spots here, and then once you have that, you'll go through and just do an average between the joints to kind of let the as far as motion capture, the more points you have, actually it'd be about the same, but you want to have the same number of joints as you do markers. So let's say you had a marker here, here and here. Those markers are there as a visual aid, so that when like the mouth like flexes or whatever, you would have a joint where that marker is, and you can tie that particular amount of influence to that specific joint. So if you have 10 markers here, you'd want to have the same number of joints. But for like a character like Thanos, there's a lot of joints in there. High resolution characters have a lot more. Still don't know where this one's getting its influence from. Let's jump back in, turn that off. That's lower lip. 2. So who else has influence over this? Let's go and do that. Let's go with upper lip. Upper lip has no influence down there. That makes sense. Upper lip 1. He's got influence, it should not have any. Upper lip 2. Kind of makes sense. That doesn't need to be there. This lower right lip. Why? Why do you have so much stuff? You should not have that. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. I want to zero it out, but I don't want it to annoy me. Alright, hold on. So if lower lip 1 has a thing, lower lip 2 has a thing. Yeah, but if I give it away, who will it go to? Lower lip 1 should not have this. Alright. What about this? This should not be a thing. What I could do is zero it out and then repaint it, but we could also take the risk and see where those go. Let's take the risk. I'm going to jump into a front view here. 6. Oh, that didn't help any. Oh, let's turn symmetry off. Okay, so I got those. Let's go back into skin weights. Is that a good split? It looks like it. Oops. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do a quick save here. So for oh, I'm losing the my thing there. So what do you mean for like the older 3D games? What you're asking? What do they do for the first few 3D Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat characters? What do you mean? Like what do they do? Like for skin weights or for? Because they were pretty simple. They're low poly, there's not a whole lot of things going on. If I remember, like Mortal Kombat 4, I'm trying to think if Mortal Kombat 4, trying to remember if Mortal Kombat 4 had any facial features. I'd have to pull up the stuff. I don't remember them having a whole lot of facial features. So let's take a look. Why not? Let me see what they had there. Take a look at what Mortal Kombat 4 had. MK4. Wow, that was a long time ago. Oh, that's a lie. That cannot be. It was not that good looking back then. Not bad model work. All right, so now you got me on a tangent, but we'll go explore. Give me a second here. I'm gonna pull up. Let's YouTube it, and we'll get Mortal Kombat 4. Here, I'll pull this back up. Let's do a cutscene. Well, with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, it's not that big of a deal. All endings remastered. This is by VG Suite. We'll go ahead and pop that in there. Why not? Hello. I put some headphones on.
Wow! I don't know what to say. I guess I could start by thanking all my fans out there. Well, that's enough of the mushy stuff. I mean, let's get real here, huh? When am I gonna get some real competition?
So you can see that the lip movement isn't very precise. They probably just did a single joint in the jaw for up and down. Maybe one or two joints in the lip for some basic flex. You can also see here on the arms. We'll go on the back. Looks like on the arm, this is probably a separate piece, just rounded off and then stuck into the model to kind of give the bulk of the muscle shape. It might actually be attached, but it looks like it's not. It looks like it's just one sphere shape into one shoulder shape. You can also see that on the elbow. When you get to here. This is an arm, probably a single section, and then just pushed into the other section. Neck is one continuous piece from here, but you can see the way the head is bending, that the head is separated.
Our forces of light have defeated Shinnok. Now, I must return to my duties.
I don't remember it looking this nice, though. I had it on Nintendo 64. Was this PlayStation's version of it? I don't know. This looks a lot nicer than what I had on Nintendo 64. But you can see the leg, the torso is one piece, and then the legs are kind of stuck into the torso as separate pieces, which kind of makes sense because Quan Chi can pull limbs off in the game. So, let me pull that up. Yeah, Quan Chi can pull legs off, and he smacks you with the leg. So.
As Earth's god of wind.
Yeah, look at the mouth movement.
You have served your element.
It's just flappy.
Well, Fujin, but we have a new mission.
So, I'm guessing there's a chin joint here. There might be a lip joint up here, but you probably don't even need it. This section of the mouth would be bound to the head, and then that lower jaw joint here, lower chin joint, would have this, and the rest would be bound to the head. Yeah. Well, glad you enjoyed it.
For you.
Come in, Major Briggs. This is Lieutenant Sonya Blade. What?
Deserved.
Sonya, this is Major Briggs. Come in. Sonya, this is Jax. Are you there?
as Rico's walking, you can see the crease on the butt here. That unfolds. Right there, that unfolds. So it looks like that might be one continuous leg to the pelvis. There you go. On the transparency, you can see some of that. You can see where the overlaps are. Torso. This is front and back of the leg. Where'd the helmet come from? You know, it just kind of floated down.
It's over, Jarek. Shinnok is dead. The good guys won.
So with her mouth set up, the upper lip doesn't go very far, and it doesn't move a whole lot when a person's talking, but looks like they might have actually rigged at least one joint here and here.
It's over, Jarek. Shinnok is dead. The good guys won. You're coming back with me.
The whole face from here to here on her moves.
Shinnok is dead. The good guys won. You're coming back
Like the eyes flex and everything.
with me.
Never, Sonya. I agreed to help
Got
defeat
me on a
Shinnok,
tangent.
not turn my...
Yeah, you can see on Sonya, this is one continuous limb here. Same thing with Jarek.
...self into the special forces. The Black Dragon, live on!
The Black Dragon died with Kano. You're the last
so that
one,
creases.
Jarek.
Never!
Come in, Major Briggs. This is Lieutenant Sonya Blade. Over.
Sonya, glad to hear your...
That arm looks like it's definitely separated.
You actually sound happy to hear from me, Jax. Things get boring?
Not since you followed Liu Kang into the Nether Realm.
Well, it's over now. I'm returning to base. 10-4, Jax.
As payment for your loyal services, Quan Chi, I grant you the gift of your existence. My existence? Understand, sorcerer. I consume all energies, including the life forces of all that live, but I shall spare you. If it weren't for me, you would still be a tortured soul, rotting in the pits of the Netherrealm. You dare question me? I do more than question you, Shinnok. I challenge you. Then you shall die. What? Your powers are useless against me. How can this be? I am in possession of your once sacred amulet. Years ago, I delivered to you an exact duplicate, while I retained the original. I even fooled Raiden. Now I am ruler supreme. And you, Elder God, are finished!
So, we're off topic, and I'm on a tangent, but that makes no sense. You know, the of course dialogue's awful, but he delivers Shinnok a fake amulet. The amulet which freed him from the Netherrealm and restored his powers. Quan Chi made a fake version of that. I guess if he had the original amulet, he could have used the amulet to make a clone that was... I'm thinking of this way too much, but... Otherwise, Shinnok would go, this is not real. It does nothing for me. But, you know, that's another thing, like... Shinnok is this powerful deity trapped in the Netherrealm. But he has no power in the Netherrealm. So he recruits Quan Chi to go find the amulet. But Quan Chi has powers in the Netherrealm. So at that point, isn't Quan Chi more powerful than Shinnok? And if so, then why would he even obey anything that Shinnok wants? I'm thinking way too much into it. Anyway, I'm going to jump back into here. So I'm going to hit replace on that. And flood that down to 0. And pray to the Elder Gods that that didn't break anything. Alright, so I'm going to grab something and then grab back. You can see that still has influence there. Let's grab that one. Can I flood it off again? Man, that brought back memories. Used to play the crap out of Mortal Kombat 4. Oh wow. That's unfortunate. It's because these are not bound to anything, so they're just kind of chilling. Let's go back in. This one seems to have influence over here, but it shouldn't. Let's replace down to 0. I will paint these off. Let's go back to Whip 2. You can see this one's a little jagged. That is probably going back to this joint. So left upper lip. Yeah. This can probably get pulled back this way. I'll go back to add, and then I'll set this to 10%. And then I think down through here is probably good. I'm going to add a little bit more influence here. Let's add some here. Okay. This looks like it could be better suited for up higher. Not too far. Okay, let's add influence back to here. Oh, that's upper lip. Upper lip should have none. Let's go to lower lip 2. Okay, so lower lip 2 does have a bit of influence here. I'm going to go ahead and share it back with upper lip 2. It looks like I can probably share here as well. Maybe just up here. Oh, that's blurry. Well, not necessarily blurry, but hard to see. Okay. I think that's better. But this should pull on that. So let's go back in. So lower 2. Lower 2 doesn't have quite as much influence up here. It's a wonderful balancing act of how much influence. This is trying to have a good amount here, but I don't know how much I really need. That looks more even. Oof, too much. Now I've got Mortal Kombat on the brain. I don't really want this part, but I'll go ahead and try anyway. Too much. I'm gonna have to pull a little bit harder there. So as I'm lifting this up, that's becoming spiky. That means this is too much influence. That means I gotta go back to the other one. Lip 2. Lip 2. Ooh. I take that back. Lip 2 has too much influence. Let's go back to lower 2. And then lower 2. Upper lip 1? Why does upper lip 1 have anything? Upper lip 1 should have nothing. Go away, upper lip 1. Upper lip 1, you are nothing. You are nothing. And it's fighting. It's fighting for its right to annoy. Come on, you. I'm gonna get that vertex. There we go. Oh, now it's all sliding. But now I took all the time to paint that off. Watch it come back. Yeah. Oh, it's annoying. That typically will happen if you have construction history on the model, which I don't. But this is one of those frustrations with color ramp. I don't think the registry updates correctly. Because I'm pretty sure this is 0. When I paint it off, nothing happens. Right, the skin doesn't jump anywhere, so I'm pretty sure that's actually 0. It just doesn't know what to do. Let's go to lower lip 2. And I will, oops. I want to paint to 0 on that. I want to paint to 0.1. I've got a caffeine headache. Because a little sensitive to caffeine. But it is doing the trick as far as keeping me focused and alert. In small doses, it's okay. That's too much. Okay. Let's see what happens when I move this. Much cleaner. How about you? Yeah, better. Okay, what is that? So this is that upper part of the mouth. Ever seen that animation? It's hilarious. Pop the teeth out. Now it's Grandma. Granny, put them teeth away. So I think, which I shouldn't do, it's dangerous. Me thinking, not anything else. Let's grab upper lip 2. And upper lip 2 needs to have control back here. I'm gonna move it down. Ooh, that's... Oh, I moved it back. Weird. Alright. I'm going to do that for this one as well. This one. Pop it down. Okay. And we're going to go into... Yeah. You can see that separation where there's influence and then I stopped here. Kinda need to give influence on this upper section. Upper lip 2? Yeah, let's do a bit bigger, and then we'll do that's upper lip 2. Let's do upper lip 1. Upper lip 1. I need to get in here. And then upper lip center. Same dealio. So in theory, as this is moving up, yeah, it should pull with it. Now this is very jagged here. That needs to be changed. So as I pull down, you can see that I got a stair step effect. That needs to be controlled here. This one looks like it's good there. I don't think I need so much control here, but this needs control there. This one, bit jagged. That's really jagged. This has way too much control here. So this spot needs control over here, that needs control there. So we'll chop up or go on this thing. Upper lip 1. Way too much influence, but we want to give a little bit over here just to round that off. And then this guy, oh, get in here as well. This guy, upper lip 2, needs to have influence over here. There is a collapse here. Oh, that's too much. Interesting. As king, you must understand that balance, from the crawling ant to the leaping antelope. But Dad, don't we eat the antelope? Yes, son, but let me explain. When we die, our bodies become the grass, and the antelope eat the grass. And so, we are all connected in the great circle of life. Good morning, sire. Good morning, Zazu. Checking in for the morning report. Fire away. Well, the buzz from the bees is that the leopard is a bit of a spot. Oh? This needs to have control up here. Upper lip 1 needs to have control back here. How far am I going? I'm going from here to here. So from this line 2 lines up. And that line 2 lines up. This one. Let's pop this one down. It's just 2 up, right? I think this is a bit high, but it is what it is. Whoops, too much over there. Okay. Lower lip center. I did that. Lower lip 1, I got there. Lower lip 2. Okay, so center got here. Lower lip 1 got to here. Lower lip 2 needs to have control on that line right there. So lower lip 2. Okay, so we'll save that, set it back to its default pose. And then once again, we will mirror the influences. Close that part. Get the mouth. Alright, what's going to be the quickest way of getting that? Painting, it's usually pretty quick, but we're doing this. How many go around? That's good. All those I think are good. Any Rick and Morty fans out there? We can talk Rick and Morty lore, or just in general, things that bug you about the show. Or we can talk about Guardians. I'm happy to talk about one of my books. Or game design stuff. And then just for good measure, I'll put symmetry on. Now I'll turn symmetry off. Okay. You can see areas that got missed. This is why we check for things. Painting this kind of reminds me of Blast Corps when the little Pac-Man mazes, those are really fun. You have to step over the RDUs, the radiation detection units, or little reflectors on the ground that light up or whatever. But as you go, they go womp, and then they light up. It's a very satisfying thing when you're getting like all of them. This is what it reminds me of. Womp, 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 womp. Okay. I think we're good. We'll jump into skin weight, mirror, yes, mirror, and then we will check. Yes. Good. And then let's get the lower jaw. That could be a bit more round. Pretty good there. And good there. Yeah, I mean, the middle could be a little more round, but I think overall this is good enough for the moment. Oh, I think I'm going to hop off, get ready for bed. I've got some more waiting to do on the face, and then I should be able to get this character into the scene. I might do a skin painting, just because the current skin color is just the blandest of bland. What she has for her current skin is skin material. It's like the blandest of bland. I think I can do a little bit better on that skin job. Not that you need to see the pores or anything, it won't be close enough, but skin's not one color, it's multiple colors blended, so I'd go in and do some blue for the vein work and some redness. Like on the around the eyes and parts of the nose, there's more red. On the ears, there's also some more yellowing in certain parts of the cheeks and stuff, so we'll see. But I think for the moment, this is good enough. So, thank you for joining me. Have a good night. And also see you next time. Don't forget to keep an eye out for the comic book. The Kickstarter for that's going to drop as soon as I get the cover done. Once that's finalized, this is going to be dropping. So I'll put when the cover's done, I'll put the pre-launch up and finalize all of the rewards and such. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And stay tuned, and I shall see you next time.